Yo, what's going on, guys? What's happening? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you're doing well. Chelsea 2, Los Angeles FC 0. I was going to sit and record this in the new away kit from the season, but honestly, it's so humid. I'm sweating my gonads off, but very pleased with our first Club World Cup game. In the end, after the game has happened, because early doors, if you saw it 2-0, I would have thought maybe we could have slapped up LA a little bit more. Tell you what though, it was keenly contested. They did defend well. Their centre-backs were all right. And it was very, very spicy. There was quite a few yellow cards in this game on both sides. Also, there was apparently a fight in the halftime tunnel. I think that might be a contributing factor to why Reece James was hooked, who's he himself on a yellow card. But it's two goals. It's two debuts for Sugo and Delap. Delap looked great. We're going to spend some time talking about him. And of course, he registered an assist. Neto scored a great goal. Enzo Fernandez is doing more Argentinian Frank Lampard things with crashing the box late. And I'm pretty happy, mate. All things considered, a player like Neto, I think, was probably our best player on the day in terms of all-round performer. He's one of the players that we know we're not going to sell. There's talks about obviously Sancho and Mudryk are gone right now. There's always talks about Madueke, although how he's widely respected, that he's got a high ceiling and can do better. He's still being linked with moves away. Everyone's like, no, Neto's good. Neto's professional. He's a bit more grown up. He can play as a false nine, both sides. He's not going anywhere, but we need more from him. Moments like that is good. So we're going to get into all of it today, guys. I'm expecting a late delivery, so I'll pause the recording if the door knocks. Just FYI if the recording is chopped. But yeah, man, welcome back. Thank you as always for supporting the content and joining me here. There's daily content here on Football Therapy, so thank you for supporting the content. Yes, let's get into it. So the game was in the beautiful, although admittedly looking rather empty, Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Shout out to a lot of my friends that are there, Americans and non-Americans, like George is out there as well. I've been reliably informed and seen. So looks like a good time and a good game to be enjoyed. Let's reference some statistics. Oh, it's not there. Let me just prepare this. How embarrassing. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Get there in the end. Here's SofaScore. As you can see, a lot of Chelsea momentum here, the green bar at the top, but it was keenly contested. There were moments from LA, and they did defend quite well, surprisingly well from what I saw. And like I said, there was a lot of combativeness. Player of the match here on SofaScore was Pedro Neto, the aforementioned. So they played a 4-3-3 formation with Hugo Lloris in goal. We did see the likes of Olivier Giroud come off the bench. But really, like I said, Tillman and probably the centre-backs were their best performers on the day. We played our sort of hybrid 3-2, whatever it is, 4-1. With Cucurella, as you can see here, playing in the left pocket. Reece James playing as the sort of right centre-back, but pushing up very, very high, as you can see. And then you can... more evidence of that would be these men, as you can see, Tosin in the middle, Levi on the left. That's really essentially a back three that's pushed up really high, all occupying those appropriate spaces. Moises Caicedo, he's your CDM. Lavia kind of playing around him a little bit. He, like Reece, was hooked at half-time. I think that might be performance/fitness related. Of course, we are still protecting Lavia more so than Reece. Cole Palmer, I'd imagine, in a free roll. Ooh! That is very much... that's an over. Look at that. That's really interesting. Because he did feel like he was quite right-wing positionally in this game. But look at that. Look at that. That is a double-up overload. Pedro Neto and Cole Palmer. I guess we're trying to isolate the left-back. It must be tactical. And, of course, Noni Madueke there holding the width, as you can see, on the left wing. I imagine Jackson probably did a little bit more left as well. Not the greatest games from Nico Jackson, despite getting a 7.9 rating. We'll look at that a bit more closely in just a moment. So in terms of statistics, for context of how this game went down, 65% of the ball, which you would have assumed. Two big chances, both scored. 17 shots. You'd want more than perhaps 2 goals, maybe? I don't know. Actually, it depends how many's on target, really, doesn't it? 7 corner kicks to their 1. It was kind of dominant in many ways, but let's just have a look here down here. Big chances scored. Look, we don't need to go too much into the weeds. Let's do a little stroll through the timeline before we speak about player performances and like the juicy stuff like Liam Delap. As you can see here, we had substitute performances from Gusto, who, despite getting a 7 here, he concerns me still. Enzo Fernandez, superb. Ty, did a bit. Sugo, a nice bit of high turnover. Liam Delap looked really good. Cole Palmer coming off fucking Kunku. I'll just talk about this now. Why have we brought Kunku to the Club World Cup? Is it to showcase him to try and get his value up? Because surely, if we didn't play him at all at the arse end of last season because we were scared of getting him injured before a transfer, then what are we doing here? The transfer window is literally open. Shouldn't he be like on the phone to his agent somewhere? Do you know what I mean? Like, this is mental. What's going on? Why have we taken him? And why are we playing him? Please let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments. Has there been something in the background where suddenly we feel like, oh, we can play Nkunku. He's going to be a solution for us in the Champions League and Premier League next season. I haven't seen the tiniest bit of evidence for that. So that is blowing my fragile little mind. Take you through it then. It was a sort of keenly contested start. We started very well in terms of pressing, really high press. I know the roof was on, but I imagine it's still hot. And really impressive high press from Chelsea. Pedro Neto scoring a goal. Assist Nico Jackson to his credit, but I think it was more about Pedro Neto, how he cut inside, how he gave himself that shooting opportunity and drilled it low, a low drive. Really excellent finish from Neto. I thought his touch wasn't the greatest and it got away from him a little bit, but actually it turned out to be perfectly timed. It was slightly late, but he stuck it in the corner, and we were off. We're off in the 34th minute. Good times to score. Reece James gets that foul, the yellow card, which I think is very, very harsh. It's sort of a coming together, maybe a foul, definitely not a yellow card, and that was the first yellow card. And of course, we saw a bunch more Tosin before the half was out, and we saw halftime changes. So Reece and Lavia was hooked. Like I said, Lavia, I think, is maybe performance. Like, it wasn't the greatest performance. Certainly our lowest ranked player here on Save the Score out of the starters. But I do wonder if it's a protection thing as well. They're being so careful with Lavia. They really want him to be available for as much as possible. And if he's get the tiniest little niggle or feeling, you've got to protect him. So yes, bring on Enzo Fernandez, who took the captain's armband, because also Reece James was hooked at halftime as well, which could feel premeditated, like planned. There's a lot of that halftime stuff with Enzo Maresca, but it was already getting a little bit spicy in that first half. What am I doing? And apparently there was a fight in the in the tunnel at halftime. Someone was laughing in Pedro Neto's face, and Reece James came to protect him, as a captain should. Profanios. Obviously on a yellow card already. We've seen Reece James get red card bans from not even game days where he's playing, when he's injured, from shouting at the refs in the tunnel. So there was probably enough from you, Reece. You've had a good half or whatever, but you're on a yellow and you're rightly protecting your teammate. But we cannot have any, red cards for you, mate, especially in terms of what we've seen with Malo Gusto. I'll say lately, but just under Maresca, We'll talk about that in just a moment in player performances. So we see those two changes. Giroud comes on as well, even though he didn't have a shirt prepared, which is pretty farcical, actually. It's tough. It's a tough game. Like I say, it's combative. Ty George comes on for Madueke. The substitution we all want to see, Liam Delap for Nico Jackson, and 15 minutes after coming on, he assists Enzo Fernandez. He nearly actually gets an assist a little bit earlier as well, like one of his first touches or first actions in the game. But he does get an assist for Enzo Fernandez, who crashes the box late. The Argentinian Frank Lampard strikes again. He does say this, Maresca's coached this in him, and to his credit, it's immense the way he makes those late arrivals. It is Frank Lampard-esque, those late arrivals, crashing the box, scoring goals, superb. Love it. Bellissimo from the Chelsea manager, getting that out of him. And yeah, we had a little Treat with Asugo came on, did a high turnover, looked pretty good. And then Kunku came on, don't know what the bloody heck we're doing there. Right, should we talk about player performances? Let's look at these, man. Quickly, Sanchez, probably not bad in the end. 7.5 rated here. 1 out of 1 success, 4 saves. Much better accurate passes, 70% from a goalkeeper, from him, who's been very poor. High claim saves, he did flap a bit. My position on Sanchez hasn't changed. And so I think Cucurella was good, did a lot of front housing like he usually does. Reece James was pretty solid as well. Cucurella, of course, was doing that pocket role. Tosin, actually, I must have a quick word on Tosin because he was this sort of like free transfer that was just a bit more senior, rotational. He's pretty much done everything he said in the tin, and he cost us nothing. He is a leader. He's been a starter for Chelsea in our most crucial period under Enzo Maresca, and he's good. He's a good centre-back. And there's reports coming out today that Mamadou Sarr is really impressing people at Chelsea, and they think he'll be a starter for Chelsea before next season's out, which is great. I welcome that if he's really good. But Tosin's good, Tosin and, freaking Trevo as well. These are good players and options. And you guys know how much of a fan I am of Wes Fofana, who's of course not gone to the Club World Cup because of the injury situation. But yeah, man, shouts to Tosin, really, really good. I do love Lavia, but probably not his best game. Caicedo, very competitive. Loved how seriously the team taking it. In fact, how all teams have taken the Club World Cup. Everyone's taking it very seriously. Caicedo had a great game. Definitely our strongest player behind the attackers, you'd have to say. And I kind of consider Enzo Fernandez an attacker now. Cole Palmer had a couple of moments. There was a shot he took where he skied, where you'd put the farm on him doing better. But, he still demonstrated good ability. He didn't have an awful game. And, of course, it's the first game we've seen with Cole Palmer wearing the number 10 on his back, which looks right, doesn't it? It just looks right. 2 seasons of 22, whatever it was before. Whatever number, was it 20 or 22? Whatever. 20, it was 20. I can't even remember because the number 10 looks so right. And we'll hopefully see a bit of magic from him. Noni Madueke, of course, still playing out of position, but obviously played some games for Chelsea at the end of last season / this season. Brain melt. And indeed England as well. But yeah, should we talk about Noni briefly? Because people are talking about, we signed Jamie Gittins. We were linked to Fofana of Lyon today, which I'll speak about in tomorrow's Chelsea News video. We can look at his stats as well. But people are talking about Gittins, Fofana. People are talking about, obviously Esteval won't be a starter for Chelsea straight away. So Neto is this sort of senior good player that's not going anywhere. And Noni, is Noni for sale? Noni will double our money should we sell him. He's got suitors. He is, and probably in the near future and beyond, will remain an England international. I think Tuchel will keep calling up Madueke, just like Carsley did. So Chelsea will make good money if they sell Noni. But should we sell Noni? Because he's our highest performing winger in over the last 2 seasons. So there is that, and I don't, even though Palmer plays some games on the wing, I don't count him as a winger. So it's tricky. Neto definitely deserves his flowers. Worked really, really hard. Sprints, presses the heck out of people, runs in behind incredibly quick. Scored what can only be described as an excellent goal to put us ahead and give us that security to go get the second. And very, very happy with it. Similarly, Nico Jackson, frustrating moments. He did get the assist though. I do think it's more Neto than Nico, that goal. But let's have a look here. 13 completed passes. He did make 3 key passes, which for a centre-forward is very good. He does do good stuff. Look, let's quickly talk about Nico as well. He's not going anywhere. Chelsea really like him. And as far as Chelsea are concerned, there isn't an obvious... they want him and Delap to duke it out. They know they're different profiles. They have a great belief in both of them. Chelsea love Nicholas Jackson internally. They love what he offers. They think he can be really good. They think he can be really effective at elite level football, both in the Champions League and indeed the Premier League. He had a great game against England for Senegal in their 3-1 win over England. He's a really good player. I'd be very frustrated if we got rid of Nico, especially if it was to like a team that could end up hurting us in the Premier League or Champions League. I feel like no one's seen the best of him yet. But I'm not gonna flip flop on this. I don't want him right now starting for Chelsea. Both of those things can coexist, by the way. Dario Sugo is not really worth mentioning of them. So, I've waxed lyrical about Enzo Fernandez. Malo Gusto we could speak about. He's a very good footballer. He's technical. That's why Maresca's put him on this inside position. But what hasn't changed is his best football is a flying wing, fullback, right back, and he's simply just never going to play that for Chelsea. I do wonder if he's thinking, I need to go back to my roots and do what I do best and leave Chelsea. Chelsea will at least get their money back on Gusto. I mean, if they sold him after his first full season on the Poch, would made a profit on him. But let's talk about Liam Delap. Fun. He looked good, didn't he? Like I said, in his first action, he nearly got an assist. He ended up getting an assist. So both the strikers got an assist. He made 2 key passes himself. So in a very limited time, he made 1 cross and it was accurate. He created a big chance, which of course was the assist. Although it says he didn't win any ground duels here, but he does cause chaos. He causes chaos. He's already made like a couple of... Palmer knows exactly how to find him. And I don't want to like be like hyperbolic about this, because he's obviously played, 30 odd minutes, if that, in a Chelsea shirt. Well, let me see, when did he come on? Yeah, like even if that, like 29, 28 minutes in a Chelsea shirt. And but he just looks different. He looks different because the way he'll bend that run, he looks like he'll get assists. I think he'll be really, really happy playing with Chelsea level players rather than Ipswich level players. I think he knows what good players are supposed to do in these moments, and now he'll be able to execute those actions. And not to be too reductive about it, he'll just beat the crap out of defenders, and that's Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? Drogba could do it. Costa could do it. And it just looks like he's going to make runs. It looks like he's going to occupy defenders. It looks like he's going to have a bit of a ruck with them. And it looks like he's going to get assists and score goals. I understand totally why Nico started this game. I totally understand why Nico starts the next one against Flamengo as well. And then it might wait till we play the Tunisian side to start Delap. Purely on just bedding him in. Everyone learning each other's chemistry, and Jackson doesn't need to be thrown out immediately. He deserves his chance to he got he did it right today. I'm high on Jackson, I still am, but next season, after a pre-season and this, that, and the other, I want the majority of next season to either have Liam Delap as our starting striker. He's wearing the number 9, or if we do somehow sign another striker that's undeniable one way or another, if it's like a Nekatike, who Chelsea just think he's going to be perfect for us, or Vultemada, the young German striker who's actually popping off in the U21 tournament. Yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts. Please do leave your comments down in the comments section below. I'm very thankful for your support. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Daily content here. Keep it locked. Oh, and a little quick public service announcement. Thank you so much for your support on the second channel, Football Yannick. We've hit over 18,000 subscribers now, which is amazing for a little passion project of mine. There's daily content over on there, of course, as well. There's a link in the description to that, or just YouTube search Football Yannick. Just swap therapy for Yannick. As you can see, like the Instagram handle up there, it's the YouTube. All right, mate, keep it locked. Peace.